So Silvio, given all the lore and the history and the implements necessary, how do you actually drink mate?
Okay, so with mate, depending on the amount of people or who you're drinking with or how strong you want it, you choose your gourd. In this case, we'll use a medium-sized gourd. And what we do is we add half the amount of the gourd with mate.
Half the amount of tea?
Of tea.
That's a lot of tea in a tiny gourd.
Exactly. Well, you need to cover the holes of the straw first off.
So, I don't quite understand.
So the bombillas has a certain amount of holes.
Oh, holes in the bottom.
So you want to be able to cover at least the holes of the straw.
Oh, sure.
Because if you don't, what happens is like a broken straw. You have water, you have air getting in, and you never quite empty out the container. And it's very important to empty out all the liquid out of the gourd so it packs tight. And that's what adds to the cycle of pour, and you get a frothy mate.
I see. So you're loading the mate, the dry mate, into the gourd.
So we load the mate into the gourd halfway.
That's a lot of.
It's a lot of mate. But
how many teaspoons?
And in this mate will probably be about 10 or 12.
That's a lot.
And this is an average size. So some containers take about 15, 20. And in some cases, Uruguayan mates that are bigger capacity because they pack them once and drink throughout the day. They load it with like 30 or so.
You go through a lot of mate that way.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I mean it's once a day, so I mean most people are drinking 3 times a day the small gourds, or you can have the big gourds and just pack it once. And it's a whole technique also in adjusting the straw and moving it around to get the fresh hierba and trying to get the most out of your mate.
So do you load the tea into the gourd and then you tamp it down? Do you have to tamp it?
No. We just
leave it loose?
We shake it loose.
Yeah.
So we try to remove some of the powder, which eventually gunks when you add water, so you avoid that first sip of the powdery mate. Some people like it. I think in Uruguayans they tend to like the powder.
Is it bitter?
It's a bit bitter. It adds to the froth of the mate, but it's acidic to some people.
Do you pour boiling water in on top?
Never boil water.
Never?
Never boil water for mate because
room
you lose all.
temperature?
About 75 to 80 degrees is ideal. So you want it hot enough to extract the nutrients and the properties of the mate, but not enough to burn them. And it also makes it bitter.
Do you have to let it sit then for a while?
We don't, because the first mate we pour is going to be very strong, so we try to drink that. We call it the fool's mate de sonso.
Fool's mate?
Fool's mate, because you either give it to somebody, which would be the fool, or the idea is that you drink it first. The server drinks the first mate and spits it out, or just drinks it. I like the first mate. It's like an espresso. It's strong, so. But most people, would.
And the flavor will change as you proceed.
As you add water to it, it waters down. And some people like to join in after it's been watered down.
So it can be a communal experience. You could pass
It's a total communal experience. It's all about communal experience.
Interesting.